It's video essay time. Oh yeah, it is. I don't know why I'm glowing, but like I guess the sun is just like reflecting off my skin. I am Edward from Twilight. It's confirmed, guys. I am a vampire.
Say it. Vampire.
Who lives in Arizona. Also say hi to all my stuffed animals right here.
Wow.
I don't know this one's name, but super cute. I have many stuffed animals. They take up literally half my bed. Who needs a significant other when you have stuffed animals there that you can hug at night, you know? I cover a wide variety of topics, or at least I just like to talk about whatever I want, and that's why you will never see like any consistency with me, because it will be something different every single week. Because some week, you know, I want to be talking about books. Next week, I'm talking about AI. Those are actually, unfortunately, more connected than you'd think. But I digress. And then other weeks, I'll be talking about something completely different. I really am just full of so many things. That sounded bad. I'm limitless.
Unlimited.
But today I wanted to talk about self-discovery, which is something that I have not done yet. I've not discovered myself. We're still in that process. Personally, I think you're in that process for your entire life. I don't think you ever come to a point where you're like, oh my god, wait, this is who I am. Wait, you're right. This is me. No.
No.
You don't. And so that's kind of what I want to talk about, because I think I personally have had some problems with it, and I've taken philosophy classes, I've read philosophical books. I know, pray for me. So let's just talk about it. I don't want to talk about it, guys. Let's just do it, okay? Self-discovery really is this kind of never-ending experience, and it's honestly exhausting. I'm sure anyone who's found themselves on like the self-improvement side of Instagram or any social media, honestly, has been around the area of trying to be like become your best self. I actually just made a video called like glow ups and do we really need them? What's that all about? Glow up culture, all that kind of stuff. So you should totally go check that out if you haven't. But let's move past that self-plug. But if you have been on any part of the internet, you have probably heard the phrase, maybe everything you thought was breaking you was actually leading you towards yourself. I know, pulled directly from Pinterest. I'm not proud of it, okay? I'm a chronic Pinterest saver. Or you fell into the trap of, you know, trying to become the best version of yourself, because that, I think, has been the most broad and all-encompassing part of this kind of self-improvement journey. And according to many influencers, this best version of yourself is drinking lemon water, doing Pilates, and becoming the skinniest version of yourself, which I gotta break it to you guys. That's not about becoming the best version of yourself. This version of yourself is probably not tied directly to how you look. But what skirts the boundaries of these self-help trends and these specific little corners of the internet is this whole idea of identity. Who are we? What am I? Who am I? What is my purpose in the world? What am I doing with my life? All that kind of stuff. And the big question of who are you? Not you, who am I? And unknowingly or knowingly, a lot of this self-reflection really comes down to how much time you spend overanalyzing yourself and every decision you make, all the ways that you think, and your actions that you do. Because speaking from my own personal experience, and this might just be because I have OCD and I spend way too much time up here in my old noggin, I am constantly overanalyzing and trying to question who I am. That's a big part of my OCD, is like self-philosophizing, which is exhausting, honestly. I'm constantly trying to figure out like what my purpose is. And when I think I have an answer, no, I don't. I can't explain it very well, but I'm always trying to figure out like what is the purpose of humans, which, spoiler alert, I don't know. Haven't figured that one out yet, but I don't think anyone knows the answer to that. Like, I know I was not the only person obsessed with personality quizzes like Hogwarts houses. Oh my god, I was trapped in that. I was trapped in there. You could not free me. I wouldn't want to be freed. MBTI quizzes, all that kind of stuff. Any personality quizzes. I am a chronic quiz taker on Pinterest. I am shackled to it willingly. And I also grew up, I like to tell this thing whenever I talk about identity, which is not actually that much, so I've literally told this story maybe twice, that when I was younger, I literally asked my parents when I was still like Christian, why couldn't God just give us like a booklet when we were kids and be like,
This is your personality traits. These are what you do. Here's how you will react to these situations. Here is you. This is who you are. This is your identity.
I was like, why couldn't you just do that? That would be so much easier. And my parents obviously were like, what are you talking about? Why are you thinking about this? You're 8. And that's OCD for you. That's overthinking. That's being, I don't even like the term that much, but that's being a thought daughter, honestly. Because ultimately at that age, I envied the characters in my books who knew just who exactly they were and always acted how they wanted to act. They were so obviously themselves because they were in life or death situations. And at that point, you're not really worrying about how you are presented to other people, you're kind of worrying about surviving. But already at the age of like 8, I was tired of self-discovery. I was like, can you just tell me already? I don't want to keep trying to figure it out.
Wrap it up.
And it was at around that same age that I wouldn't say cracked the code, because I don't think I was actually thinking about it as much as I now think I was. But I kind of realized that it's something you never learn. You kind of never figure out exactly who you are. I think you can figure out aspects of it, but you never essentially figure out, oh, I am exactly these things. You can't encapsulate yourself in this one like object or something like that, because life is a continuous journey and you're always self-discovering, you're always learning new things, and the things that happen in your life as you grow older will change you. It's just part of how life is. You change. If you didn't change, then we would all be babies, I guess. But these recent trends and just parts of the internet that are constantly forcing this idea of becoming the best version of yourself or rediscovering yourself and being true to yourself, I think has honestly, it's fueled by good. It's trying to be more in touch with maybe your childhood self, be more in touch with who you are genuinely and not trying to put up a front for other people. I think behind it, it's a good thing. It is. But it can sometimes come with the idea that, oh, you will find exactly who you are. And that, unfortunately, is just simply not true. Or fortunately, honestly, I think it's a good thing that you never know exactly who you are, because then I don't think you would ever be trying to rediscover yourself. You would just be done and stuck, and then you would never change, you'd never grow, anything like that afterwards. And that is not what life is about. And now I'm once again going to start complaining about social media, because that I just seem to do that all the time, guys. There's no real reason for it other than I find an issue with a lot of things, because when social media gets its claws on things, on trend, it makes a trend out of something, it often is twisted and made into something that it's not. And yes, I just went from philosophizing to complaining about social media. Honestly, maybe they're more connected. I always, for some reason, find a connection between it. I have recently found myself, actually not recently, my whole entire life, I've kind of just felt not necessarily stuck, because I'm very happy with my life. I'm very happy with where I am, what I'm doing. I, of course, am not happy with the current state of the world and how things are going in a various number of places. And the United States is also just, I don't know what we're doing right now. It's scary and there's a lot of unknowns, but in my personal life, with like how it's going with like my path in life, I guess I'm happy and I'm content with it. But whenever I do feel stuck or unsure about something, or I unfortunately just have like 5 spare minutes, I always find myself opening up social media, specifically Instagram. Instagram Reels is a dangerous place. And I always was like, you know what, this will solve it. Like, it'll cure my boredom. It'll tell me something. Like, I'll see what my friends are up to, all that kind of stuff. And that part of social media, I've always said, is a good part. I like being able to see what my friends are up to. I like posting pictures. I like taking pictures. I'm a big picture taker, big documenter of things. But other aspects of it, just as I said earlier, social media gets its claws on things just start to go downhill, unfortunately. Because yes, you can express creativity on Instagram, but also a lot of it is just like eye-catching short form content that honestly just wears away our ability to be engaged with something for longer than 10 seconds, and also can just kind of take you out of the life that you're currently living. And I think it's good to sometimes maybe see what other people are up to experience things that you wouldn't be able to experience otherwise through a screen. Those are all positives. I'm not saying that they aren't. But overall, the truth is that no amount of scrolling on Instagram or any social media, I'm sorry I'm calling out Instagram so much, it's just the one that I frequent the most. I think for most people it'll probably be TikTok. I just don't have TikTok. Is that no amount of scrolling on anything is really going to tell you who you are. You're not going to find yourself, your identity, through scrolling through other people's stuff or other experiences, because you kind of not disassociate but kind of become distanced from what is happening in your current reality and present. And I'm really starting to sound like a self-help person who like writes a book that it's like, why the phone is the damn problem, because I do think that it's such a nuanced topic. It's something that I can never fully hate on technology, because there has been so many amazing things that have come out of it, but I also can realize that sometimes we as humans create things to such an extent that what we create actually begins to deteriorate who we actually are, and it can cause harm. And I think social media is part of it, is that people feel significantly more lonely now, even though they might have thousands of followers on social media. That community is a lot harder to build because people would rather be on their phones than actually go and engage with people in real life. There many examples of how social media, though it has its positives, also does have its negatives. And one of them that I've noticed is having to do with identity and just trying to figure yourself out by putting yourself in an aesthetic or in a specific box, or containing yourself in one simple word of like, oh, I am cottagecore aesthetic. What does that really mean? And does that actually fully grasp who you are as a full entire person, or is that just the clothes you wear? Those are the kind of questions that I'm at least concerned about. And that's why I am trying to stay off social media more, and I don't want to be that person who comes on to literally social media. It's like,
Guys, stop watching YouTube.
because that's just hypocritical, because I am on social media. I'm not gonna lie. I do frequent Instagram. I do use Snapchat. You know, I scroll on Pinterest sometimes. Not too much though, because I kind of started to realize that when you're focused so much on what you want your life to look like, oh, I want it to look this aesthetic and pretty, you kind of start to dislike the life that you're currently living. And it's like, no, I actually do like my life. I do. And although it's nice to like make it aesthetic or romanticize it, I think that it's sometimes okay to just be like, my life is my life. Is it pretty all the time? No, but that's real. But what I really am trying to cut down on is the doom scrolling, is getting stuck just scrolling through reels. And it happens to me a lot. And I always used to be that person who tried to stay off social media a lot. And then when I eventually got it, it was like, okay, it's kind of hard to stay off of it when you have it. And it's just that easy to access, like literally a touch of your finger, you're there. And I found that I would literally be doing homework or working on something, and all of a sudden I would have like a few moments where I'd be like, oh, I don't know what to do. And then I just open my phone and start scrolling. I would catch myself and be like, wait, no. I don't need to be doing this. I could just buckle down, head down, get this work done, and then have more free time to do stuff. But I would find that it would take me like 2 times longer to do any work because I would spend half of it scrolling. And that's not going to help me. And it's also not going to give me any answers about myself. I know I'm kind of making a weird connection here about like identity and then also scrolling on social media, because I don't know, it makes sense in my head that they're connected. I don't know if it does to you guys, but I found that it was kind of whenever I was questioning who I was or got too stuck in like my own head, it would always be, oh, I need to scroll to get myself out of my head. But I'm trying to become a little bit more comfortable with sitting in my own silence and being present with my own mind and in my current reality. Whenever I think of reality, I think of Thanos and Reality Stone. And it's hard because as someone who has always struggled with always keeping myself super busy so that I don't actually have time to like think, because when I am sitting alone thinking, that's when everything feels way too heavy, and that's when life suddenly feels like it's all too much. It's hard to kind of flip that switch and be like, no, I actually need to sit with myself and be present and be okay with what's going on, with what I'm thinking, and to let myself think. And it's hard to do. I'm not going to say it's easy. It's hard to sit with yourself in silence and to be alone with yourself, because that's when it is true. That's when everything starts to kind of like sink in and weigh down on you. Similar to what I talked about in my other glow up video, I don't think I'm a project that needs like fixing or solving or needs improvement. And I'm definitely not going to figure out the secret to life by scrolling on social media. Sure, I'll find some really dumb video to send to my friends that will make me laugh, but while that is a very important part of life, is laughing and finding funny things, I do think that just mindlessly filling yourself with it is just maybe not the way to go. And when I'm saying all this stuff, I'm not trying to like tell you guys what to do. I got a comment on one of my videos a little while ago that was like, can you stop telling us what to do? And it's like, no guys, I'm not trying to tell anyone what to do. This is more of just me trying to work through and process these things by speaking it out loud and recording a video about it, because I find it interesting and I hope you guys find it interesting too. But just know, I'm never trying to tell you guys what to do. This is never like a how to do this, or you should go off Instagram, you should not be on social media, because what is it my right to tell you what to do, honestly? It's just more of things that I've noticed, and maybe you have noticed them too, and we can have a conversation about that. So I am currently trying to limit my screen time. I just realized I wrote this script like a month ago when I was actively like trying not to be on my phone as much as possible. I've kind of relapsed. I do go on my phone quite a bit. But now that I'm recording this, I'm actually going to be more true to it and just try and not be on Instagram as much. What I've realized is that when I'm not on my phone as much, I feel a lot happier and a lot more like clear-minded. I don't have as much brain fog. I don't know if anyone else has that same feeling or gets that same sense. And I also just feel more in touch with like my family. I get to spend more time with them. I'm not just like sitting in the same room scrolling on my phone. I'm actually like having conversations with them, or when we're eating, we're all like talking. You know, it's just part of it is like building community and just being in touch with what's happening around you in real life. Because I think life is truly just meant to be lived and enjoyed, and you're kind of supposed to spend your entire life figuring yourself out and figuring out who you are, and you're never going to get an answer to it, and you're probably not going to get it from social media either. But you know what? Maybe social media will be part of it. Who knows? But personality quizzes, finding your aesthetic, all that kind of stuff are not truly going to ever encapsulate who you are as an entire being into one single like box or, you know, object or aesthetic or anything like that. You are so much more than that, and don't try to limit yourself down to something like that. It's okay if you want to dress like something that no one else dresses like. It's okay if you want to express yourself differently, or you don't want to act specifically like that or like this or whatever. 'Cause that's what I find myself doing, is like, am I acting the way that I want to be perceived? And it's like, how would I just act how I want to act? And the right people will come and the right people will go and all that kind of stuff. It'll all work out when you just truly start just like accepting who you are and going along with it and not trying to fight it. So thank you so much for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. It's kind of random, kind of like not a whole lot like other content I make, and it's a bit more philosophical, I guess, even though I didn't get that deep into philosophy. It was just more of whatever's going on up here. But I really hope you guys liked it, and if you could comment, subscribe, like, all of that jazz.
You like jazz?
It would be amazing, and I would really appreciate it. So thank you so much for watching. I think I've said that maybe 3 times now, but I do mean it. And I will see you guys in the next video that I will make soon. And if you have any video suggestions, let a girl know. So I love you. Bye-bye.